Up next is Sizi Matthew, but Sime from South Africa.
Okay. Greetings from South Africa. My name is Sizi Matthew Butine. I am an educationist, education activist, inclusive education enthusiast. I've been teaching for the past 11 years. I taught in South Africa, in Kingdom of Bahrain, Arab Republic of Egypt, and then currently I'm teaching in Ghana. So my advocacy is aligned with White Paper 6, Inclusive Education, the CS policy, and the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which is quality education. And then as an activist, I firmly and strongly believe that collegiality leads to quality education. And this philosophy is underpinned by Joe Mehan's utterances that the teachers, they are the most valuable resources that they have, having each other. And without collaboration, our growth is limited to our perspective. This year, myself and other colleagues, my network, we had our first, we held our first international teacher training, both in South Africa and in Lesotho, where we brought teachers from Ghana, from Botswana, from South Africa, and then Lesotho. So the whole nation, the theme of the conference was sharing of best practices. Because I firmly and strongly believe that, teachers, they are the one that are in the classroom and they are the one that knows what works and what doesn't work. And I believe that, it's of utmost importance that the institution, they start becoming cognizant of that and they invest in teachers rather than bringing people from outside to come and empower the teachers. Because I've been teaching for 11 years. I've been to so many professional development trainings where I learn strategies, and often I haven't implemented. But when I have some challenges in the class, and then I go and consult with my fellow colleagues in the staff room during tea break, and then they would give me, okay, you need to try this, try that, and then when I go to the classroom, in most cases that works, as opposed to a training that institutions spend a lot of money for us to be capacitated, and whatever I learn there, I cannot implement in the classroom. So with that being said, I said that it's really important that teachers they become cognizant and they are empowered in that respect, that there needs to be a platform created for teachers coming together. So with the whole thing of the whole idea of bringing teachers together from other countries, we hope that as a result, teachers will establish the PLCs, the professional learning committees, not only in their schools, not only in their regions, not only in their countries, but, throughout Africa. Because I believe that we need that, particularly in Africa. And then collaboration or collegiality, it is the trajectory to quality education.
Oh, education again. That's really interesting.
Yeah, education, we're back here. This is just like a feedback loop. You cannot expect more from the society when you don't invest in the education. The healthcare system is to take care of the system. You talked about healthcare. If you don't have a good education, you don't have good healthcare. You're dead as a country. You're doomed.
Yeah.
Now, but to get quality, one is dependent on one. For you to get quality education, you must be healthy. And for you to have good healthcare system, you must be properly educated. So the government cannot shy away from this. Irrespective of whether it be the South Africa government or Nigerian government or whatever Africa as a whole, we have a huge deficit of education in this continent. Yeah, that's why you have many of our Africans in diaspora. They're doing very well in other climes. Go to the US, go to the UK, you see Africans succeeding there, doing very well. But in their home country, it's nothing to write home about. We practically depend on them for almost everything. Let me give you an example. During the COVID, pandemic, most African countries, if my memory serves me correctly, we were actually waiting for the invention from the developed country. They are waiting for them to produce vaccines. What happened to research institutions? So we're not taking education serious, just like you were trying to say initially. So education is a very big.
So I think issue. That Matthew's mentioned two things that really stood out for me. One of them is actually opportunity, like the best practices, because we know that everyday knowledge is evolving, right? Knowledge is evolving every day. These are the days where you have a particular blueprint or a particular idea or a particular information, and you're waking up the next day to pride on the knowledge that you have, and someone is telling you that, sorry, you are 500 years behind because what you are just talking about is already an obsolete information. There's an updated version of what you're talking about. And so that becomes very important. And for you to really create a platform for sharing best practices, it means we're able to track change. We're able to check, how assimilation of information and knowledge is actually changing with respect to the changing times. And that really becomes key for me. Secondly was where you mentioned about providing platforms for teachers to collaborate. Because the truth is that there is really a limit to what we can actually go and study. We learn a lot when we understudy other people's experience. You can actually look at what is happening in another place, in another community, in another environment, and you can fine-tune and adapt what is happening there into your own sector, into your own system. And so providing a platform that enables teachers to come together from different parts of the world, and in this case, Africa, really makes it more interesting, because trust me, there is really nothing that differentiates us. All the differences that we talk about in Africa is really in our mind. We are just the same people that are just being splitted with different ideology that doesn't make sense. And so bringing a platform that brings these teachers, we get to understand ourselves. We have, in most cases, we have similar challenges. We have similar, ranging from politics, ranging from governance, getting into education, getting into health. We have almost similar issues, right? And so having to come together where we get to talk about that, bringing our teachers together, it will also give them opportunity to talk about their issues, their challenges, and profile, okay, what is working out very well in your country, and how can I adapt that, and what is not working well, so that I can avoid or prevent that from happening while I'm dealing with my students or with my fellow young persons who I'm teaching. And I think it's really a very great investment that you're doing.
I think Teachers Exchange Program is a great one. If you can,
I concur.
Okay. If the government can support teachers, especially those teaching those informative years, for exchange programs, for them to interact more and learn more, like you said, most times it's limited to university lecturers. You see, a year while I was in university, a year or a lecturer, I got a grant from the government, I'm going to so country to go and perform a research work. How can they extend that to the formative years, your primary or secondary school teachers? So it's all boiled down to investing money, billions of dollars in education.
All right, Matthew, what's your final take on this issue?
Yeah. Three things that you said, that stood out for me, that are key. You spoke about adaptability. If we collaborate as teachers will be able to adapt. And then the second thing you spoke about is contextualize. It is very important that we contextualize, because the curriculum that we're teaching our children does not speak to us. In my advocacy, I'm advocating for the indigenous knowledge system. We need to incorporate the IKS, the indigenous knowledge system in that. And then the third thing you spoke about, we have our challenges. We have similar challenges. And then those challenges, we are the ones that, we can solve those challenges. Just like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, only Africans will solve the issues that the Africans are encountering or facing.
All right, thank you so much. We thank you for your attention while the program lasted. We hope our conversations resonated with you. Little drops of water, they say, make a mighty ocean. Don't forget, the advocacy continues on our social media platforms on Facebook, PlusTvAfrica, at the hashtag, the Advocate NG, and Instagram at PlusTvAfrica, the hashtag the Advocate NG. To catch up with previous broadcasts, go to PlusTvAfrica.com/the Advocate NG. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Plus TV Africa. Join us next week, same time on this station. Let's keep advocating for a better society. See you next time.